All right, welcome back. Now, when it comes to our next story, we are about to get into what is right now the hottest movie in theaters, and that is the Super Mario Galaxy movie. And Jim, I am aware that you have seen it. What are your thoughts of it?
I will talk about it. I'll have a review out later tonight.
Okay.
I will say that it wasn't it wasn't as good as the first one. I think we can all agree. It had a lot of cameos, but I also think that's sort of what Nintendo is, honestly. You know what I mean? Like, you play Smash Brothers or a Mario game, they love doing that sort of thing.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think it was as well written, even though the first one was pretty bare bones, but it felt like they were more interested in the Peach storyline, and like Mario had no arc at all, and he's the titular character. I guess him and the Galaxy. And I feel like the Galaxy got maybe more of an arc than he did, but I had fun. It just was very much a big stuffed Hollywood sequel, you know? That's what we should expect, I guess.
Honestly, I actually agree with you. I'm on your side where I do find it to be fun. Like, as a Mario fan myself, I did enjoy seeing all the cameos and also seeing the action going on, and the animation and the music is just fantastic. But at the same time, there's just no story going on, and whatever attempt of a story that happens, it's usually completely dropped, or it makes the movie so much worse, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah. Or like the introduction of Yoshi. It's just like, oh, he's cute, and now he's part of the gang.
Honestly, that's one thing I indirectly find it funny. It really is like how Toad felt. It's like, so a dinosaur is just going to be part of our group. Okay.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's like, no, it do be like that.
It was sort of like the movie's like, you just want this to happen, so it's happened, and you're like, no, it's like the reverse of what we're talking about the Supergirl trailer, or like with the Superman movie. You built a relationship with these people, even though you know stuff's been going on before. But in this movie, it's like, yeah, you're fine. You like these guys, and you're like, what? No, what? Come on, give me something. And I don't know. And I didn't love Josh Safdie even. I thought that was not the greatest choice. And I don't know.
Oh, you mean as Bowser Jr.?
Was it Josh Safdie? Which Safdie?
No. It's the other Safdie one. No, it's the Ben.
Oh, it's Benny Safdie.
Yeah, Benny Safdie.
Sorry. I know they're both. Yeah, but I just didn't. I don't know. And there wasn't as much of the Bowser arc wasn't explored enough. It just felt like they were more into the fights and the cool tracking shots, which this was much better. The Mario movies are probably the best animation we get from Illumination.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
They I don't know if it does Nintendo be like, yo, you got to step it up, because I did notice they share a title card, much like how, this is probably too, I didn't put this in my review, but I thought about it when I watched it. At the end of Citizen Kane, Orson Welles shares a title card with his DP, much like how Chris Meledandri and the head of Nintendo shared a title card at the beginning of this. I was like, is that like how this works? Because it seems like this is not Meledandri kind of stuff when you watch these movies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. But before we get more into the movie itself, I do want to go and mention about the big record that it managed to break, or the big achievement that it managed to do, because safe to say, it dominated Easter. Yes, At the box office, the Super Mario Galaxy movie was immediately at number 1, and it's already well in place to become one of, if not the biggest movie of 2026. Maybe even the biggest movie ever, not just an American movie. Go on.
Oh, I don't think it'll be the biggest movie ever, but I think a lot of people thought it'd be the highest grossing movie immediately, and somehow Project Hail Mary was able to hold it off, at least so far.
That is true.
Impressive.
That is true. Go on.
No, I was just surprised by it, because I actually thought it was going to make more than it did. But it did open on a Wednesday. But it's 190 total, 130 weekend.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
300 worldwide, right? That's the
Yeah.
or what is 372. Holy crap. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money. That's more money than I'll ever know.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
I don't it's just such a I thought it would do well because I thought it would might outgross Minecraft was the feeling, but it didn't do that, I don't believe. And
I don't think
it
so.
wasn't it lower than the first one? I think it was, which was
No, it
not to say
was. I was about to say actually, it was a little bit lower. Like if we look into like the results at the box office, like just on the 3-day weekend, it managed to make almost 131 million. And as I am recording this, according to Box Office Mojo, the domestic total that it has so far is $190 million and a worldwide total of almost 372.5 million, which means that it was able to go and beat some records, in which just switching to my other source on Deadline, some of the records that it managed to beat is that it got the biggest global opening at the box office of 2026 as of April 5th, the only animated franchise to have 2 titles open over $350 million globally. And as you were mentioning, it didn't do as much as the first, but it is the second highest global opening for Illumination and for a film based on a video game behind the Super Mario Brothers movie. As well as, go on.
No, you finished. I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
Yeah, just going to highlight a few other records that it managed to do. Domestically, it says that it has the biggest opening of 2026 year to date. It is also the biggest 5-day domestic opening since Moana 2. And also the biggest 3-day domestic opening since Wicked for Good, as well as having the biggest MPA international opening weekend of 2026, and the only animated franchise to have 2 titles open over 170 million internationally. So yeah, it didn't do as well as the first, but it still managed to do great on its own.
I'm wondering, and I don't know, I'm sure someone in the chat will correct me, and please do, but I'm wondering, didn't Minecraft have a weekend before Easter? And I think the first Mario did as well, because this having Easter, I noticed I went to the daily box office Mojo thing, and I know those are estimates and all that. We're going off estimates in case someone watches this and there was a huge surge we're unaware of. But one of its worst days was that Sunday where it only made 30 million. And I think because even though it was a rainy Easter on the East Coast, I still think like Easter for a lot of people, they're doing family stuff. They're not thinking about going to the movies, and maybe that hurt it and it'll hold up better the next weekend. Or maybe some people were like, I heard the reviews and like, yeah, I'm going to see it, but I'd much rather wait till it's on, like this is on Peacock and nobody has that. So maybe that doesn't count on that one. But no, but I think Easter can hurt the thing, because even though it's raining, you're like, well, I want to see my this is the one time the several times a year you see your cousins, your aunt and uncles, and I think maybe that hurt it a little bit.
No, I'm sure it has, because Easter is often known to be a time when, people don't go to the theaters as much. It's not really the best time in order to go and do so, because like usually a lot of other places are closed anyways, and usually families would get together more so than to actually go and watch a movie. So yeah, like I'm not surprised that on that Sunday it didn't do as strong as like compared to how it would do on either Friday or Saturday. So I think there is the Easter factor that it did hurt it a little bit. And just to let you know, for Minecraft, yes, it did. It was released before Easter. And if I recall, it's like probably around a year before today, actually. Like I think it was released around like April 4th or 5th or something like that.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, it also, there's no chicken jockey in this. So I think that hurts it. I'm sort of joking, but also not, because I have kids and that was a major thing. So I'm not going to, I think that does help. But I also, it's for a lot of the schools also around here and other places, it's a really long spring break. So I think people are like, oh, I'll see Mario later. And there isn't much playing for kids unless are kids going to see The Mummy or Michael? I don't think so. So I think like this will probably just be number one for till Michael Jackson comes out.
Yeah. Well, one thing I will say, though, is that you're not technically wrong that it doesn't technically have its own chicken jockey because, yeah, it didn't have that kind of meme, but at the same time, this doesn't like one thing that is significant is that this doesn't have its own Peaches, that it doesn't have Jack Black singing a song of sorts in the movie.
You are very right. That was such a big thing. Sorry, I'm talking so much as a dad on this, but like my kids loved Peach. Kids, like I've watched it with just not my kids, but other kids, and they like are on the floor during Peaches. And yeah, they almost did it, and then they didn't, and then there wasn't another. I thought there'd be a follow-up Peaches, and even Donkey Kong, not in this, which surprised me actually. What was the deal with that? I guess I mean not that movie needed more characters, but it was just
I'm thinking maybe like like maybe in their mind each movie would probably have a special guest star, and like Donkey Kong was for the first, and Fox McCloud is for the second.
So it's like the Sony Spider-Man movies where part of the contract is another MCU character has to show up in each
probably
movie.
Yeah,
it's the same deal. I mean, I also think like that was the first Mario movie. That was a big deal. And this is, Mario Galaxy, I'm surprised that gets the title before Mario Brothers 2, but I'm not as big of a gamer, so I know Mario Galaxy was big. I was just surprised we're leapfrogging to that. I'm curious if we'll get Mario 3 since that is a big game. But we'll see. But I don't know if I don't know. I think some of the reviews is part of it. I think Easter is part of it. It still did phenomenal. I don't think anyone is upset. They're just kind of like, oh, we probably could have done this or done that or, whatever. It didn't feel as momentous. I don't know if you felt that as well, but it just, to me, didn't feel as momentous as the first time.
Yeah, no, I do see what you mean. But also, you did bring up something very interesting, though, is that the reviews might have played a factor. And that's another thing that I really want to get into here is because if there is one massive discourse that's been going on, it's the massive feud between fans and critics. And I know this is not the first time. The first movie had that a little bit as well, but we have been seeing on the internet that it's been intense. And even though it did great at the box office, when you do look on websites like Rotten Tomatoes, for example, it didn't really get a great score. Like going to Rotten Tomatoes, it so far has a 42% rating, which is definitely more on the rotten side. And maybe not the worst, but still not an impressive number to have. And even the critic consensus even says, packed with colorful world building that's as frenetic as it is weightless, the Super Mario Galaxy movie's visuals are often out of this world, but the threadbare story ultimately loses its Milky Way. And if you think that's bad, it's even worse when you go to Metacritic, where it has a Metacritic score of 36 out of 100 in terms of average reviews. And that's why nowadays a lot of people, like a lot of fans especially, they're just outraged by the critics not giving it high praise, because there's been a lot of fans out there who came out loving the movie, even saying that this is their favorite film of the year. So what do you think about that whole discourse going on, if you have an opinion on it?
I mean, wait, did they only see one movie this year? No. The thing with the critic versus fan thing, and I've seen this evolve over the years. I think the first time there's really a let's not be too critical thing was, I remember when the first Spider-Man came out, people were being like sort of throwing softballs at it. This is the 2002 one was what I'm talking about.
Oh, right.
And I think that maybe was a bad move, because I get like, hey, this is your big moment, fandom, have at it. But we don't all have to agree on the same thing. That's not critics' jobs. It's really, you're supposed to have like this background in film history and the current state of animation and film going, and then give your opinion on that. Or at least that's how me and Matt do it, at least. Sorry to speak for you there, but I feel like
fine.
That's what we're trying to do. And I think when people get upset, it's like, well, I'm not coming from your perspective. I'm coming from my perspective. And it's super weird when people go, we should all think the same thing because I enjoyed this. It's like, I find that to be, I've always found that idea to be odd because criticism is supposed to be from a specific perspective, not from a group think feeling or something like that. And I think, like, I don't see how this movie would be a film critic safe movie at all. It's not really super good. And I think, like, that's what's shown there. But if you just want to see a Nintendo like product, that's what it gave you, and you should be happy about it. It shouldn't matter what I think. You should be able, I'm not standing in front of your TV and lecturing you. I only do that to some people, but not most. And I think you don't need to be so upset about it. I don't understand this whole theory. Like, we're not hurting this movie. We're just talking about the facts of what it is. And I look at it more like you wouldn't go. I don't know much about driving, but I know, like, if you go to a mechanic, it's because they know stuff about cars. You don't go to a mechanic and argue with them that your car means a lot to you and it can't possibly have a bad transmission. You want them to fix your car. And so you use that knowledge. And I think it's like, that's what our knowledge is here. To explain based on our knowledge of film about this movie. And I think based on that, this was never going to get good reviews. So I'm sorry. But if you just want a fun time and say, fuck the critics, I guess. I never say fuck the audiences. We never say that.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think it's a bit much in my mind, and not realizing what criticism probably is. But yeah, sorry, I'm off my soapbox.
No, it's all right. It's perfectly fine, dude. I mean, what you explained, it's great. I mean, like, really, I think that, like, it's part of the big problem with fandoms where they want to be a hive mind, but it's impossible to do so. Like, they'll still try and desperately try to, like, make sure everybody has the same opinion so that they could feel comfortable with their own, but they can never do so. And there will be those people who will try to deviate, whether it be with critics or maybe other people that may be in the fandom. Because the thing is that with websites like Rotten Tomatoes, or I'll even add, like, award shows, they're pretty, like, to fandoms, they're basically like the bitter ex that they've never let go of. Because the thing is,
okay,
they
I want to explain this one. Okay,
because the thing is that they feel, because they never care about them, they'll always say that they resent them, they don't care about them anymore, that they've moved on. But there's always that side of them that they cling on to feel like they want that satisfaction of them liking them. You know what I mean? Like, they're like, I don't care about what the Oscars say. I don't care what the critics say. What do they know? Their stuff, what they say is garbage. They don't know jack shit. What do they agree with me though? Do they like what? Do they also like the thing that I like? Do they make me feel smart? Do they approve?
I think part of it is that I actually never use the aggregate sites, and I read a lot of film criticism every now and then, but I really don't. What I think I wish there was some way of a website to help you find a critic that's good for you, because most of the critics I enjoy are ones that, like, I've watched their stuff and I know, like, oh, I'm excited to hear, this particular critic on this movie, whether they like it or not like it. I know their perspective will be good. I wish it was more of that, because I feel like just listening at an aggregate is maybe not as ultimately healthy. But the awards thing, I actually do think Super Mario Brothers, the first movie, should have just gotten an animated feature nom, just because it was such a momentous thing. Maybe not this one, but, like, the first one was such a big deal. I'm a little with y'all on that one. At least just throw them a nomination, because it was, like, such a big deal. And Jack Black singing Peaches would have been fun, but I guess I don't think they did that, right?
No, not at all. Like, I think the most I think the first one only got, like, a few nominees. Like, they got one, like, at best at the Annies, they gave one to Jack Black for best voice acting. I don't think he won, but it's like, it was there. Yeah. And then there's, like, the Golden Globes with its gimmicky best box office achievement or whatever.
Yeah, that.
Yeah, and I think that was it.
I mean, I do think the Oscars need to. Well, I think award shows need to be more open to not nominate the same movies that they do through all of award season, which gets really boring. I would like them to open up to bigger movies as well as weirder, smaller movies too. But um, I think like looking for your own fandom to be vilified by critics and stuff, just on a general sense, is a bad idea. But like, look for like, I'd be curious, like if you like, James Rolfe, like what does he think of this? Or someone who's more video game savvy might be more of these people's cup of tea rather than film critics who But I do think people were a little harsh because I have heard people say it's like jangling your keys at a movie at like a baby, like it's like, oh look, it's Yoshi and stuff, and I get that opinion, but like I do play Switch with my kids, and those games always have tons of cameos. I'm like, this is just Nintendo. This is how Nintendo is. Am I going to get upset at Nintendo for being Nintendo? I just found that to be, because it is a Nintendo co-production, right?
Yeah, it is. No, it definitely is.
So it, like, to me, felt like a Nintendo thing. I think maybe like people had to deal with like, well, this is what they would do if they made a movie, and maybe that's not as fun. But or maybe they'll look at this and go, look at the Iron Man franchise. Iron Man 3 is not my favorite, but it's better than 2. So maybe they'll learn a lesson.
Maybe. We'll see, man.
But I mean, it's Illumination. So
yeah.
Anyway, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, but I was about to say I wanted to go and ask the chat wall what they think about it. What do you like, considering that maybe you have seen the Super Mario Galaxy movie? So I want to go and ask you all, what do you think about its box office performance and also the feud that's been going on between fans and critics? Let me know what you all think of that. And if you want to go and share your thoughts on the Mario Galaxy movie, feel free to do so. Let's see now. I saw the Galaxy movie on Friday, and despite its flaws, I still enjoyed it and had a blast with it. And I'm not shocked that it did well, and I think it's most likely guaranteed to make $1 billion like the first movie, especially with the lack of competition. As for the discourse, it's honestly ridiculous, and it's just a whole mess. And there's the fact that of some reviews, and they're like some reviews that are problematic, like the one who says that it's worse than AI. Yeah, that I do agree. Like, as you mentioned, there are some critics that went a little too far with their criticisms with how much they didn't like the feature.
I mean, I didn't think it was ever going to be as good as that Spielberg movie, so I found that comparison.
Oh, damn.
Sorry.
Yo,
that's what they're talking about, right?
I did not expect a slash like that.
AI's pretty good. What? Spielberg? Okay. Ouch. Maybe. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
Yeah, I didn't say it was worse than Ready Player One. Give me a break. All right. Anyway.
Okay. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie. At first, I thought you were talking about the upcoming Disclosure Day.
Oh, I'm. I don't know. I'm a little unsure about that one. So we'll see. Maybe you could actually say not as good as it's worse than AI, and people will think you mean one thing and it's the other. That'd be funny. Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, okay. Apparently, of course, it's Moist Critical who said that it's like Jangling Keys the movie, or at least he's one of the people who said that.
I mean, it's not. I don't know. I mean, yeah, but that's. I don't know. To me, it's like it is what that is, but I do get that opinion.
I don't know. Like, even like, I don't know. Even I do feel like it's a little bit harsh. And even at that, like, this might be a hot take. Like, I know Moist Critical is a good YouTuber, but like when he does his movie reviews, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like he could take things a little too far.
Well, that's the problem with negative reviews is so many people want to have a really cool negative review because it can launch you. I think like the last one I heard of, I know Mark Kermode did a Sex and the City 2 review, and that's sort of like what gave him a YouTube career. And there's a lot of people who have done that before. I mean, like Doug Walker, how many of those are negative or stuff like that? But I do kind of feel like you have to have a really good perspective. You can't just be, because there's so many jangly keys comments. I mean, Moist Critical is very popular, so I'm sure
Yeah, of
he
course.
can say it, and most people will either. I'm not saying he ripped it off. We all, it's like we all saw the same movie, so so we're all gonna have similar reactions to a degree. But too many people want to make a name for them. This is the big movie. I would save it for Michael. That seems like a better punching bag, but we'll see. No one's seen that yet.
Yeah. Anyways, shh. Do you hear that? It's the beautiful sound of Brie Larson haters crying that she's got another billion-dollar movie. As for my thoughts on the film itself, it was a step down from the already mediocre standards of the first one, but it had Brie Larson and Pikmin in it, so I enjoyed it enough. Hoppers is still the better movie, though. We should all watch that instead. Still, though, I'm surprised that there are so many people willing to defend such a mediocre movie. Well, I mean, like, when you got a film that is catered especially to fans, of course they're going to be, like, emotionally attached to it because they felt that it's the movie for them, so they will go and connect it so much with that movie to the point where any criticisms towards that, they'll take it as criticisms towards them.
I mean, and also Nintendo is fairly open about how when they make Mario things, they're mostly played as being advertisements. So I think that is one of they always meant, if I looked up from the Wizard to the Mario, all of them, they're very much concerned with advertising. And I think maybe that's doesn't play as well for some people. Whereas other people, they're like, hey, I love Nintendo advertising. So
yeah, that's fair.
I want to see Star Fox.
Yeah.
What did you think of Star Fox, by the way?
I honestly thought
Fox McCloud.
I honestly thought he was actually one of the better parts of the movie. I mean, in general, he's not a great character, but he was one of the better aspects where he brought in a lot of fun charisma and that Han Solo vibe onto the feature. So I actually enjoyed his contribution.
No, Glenn Powell was a good choice. At first I was like, oh, that seems so basic, but I was like, yeah, but that's the right casting. That worked out. And although I like the 2D part, I was like, can I see that movie, please?
Oh, yeah. That was fun.
I was like, can the rest of the movie be this? No? Okay. All right.
Yeah. I'll read one more comment before we go on our next break. I'm really surprised the reactions from the film critics have been so mixed and heated regarding the movie, but the audiences loved it. I'll be watching the Mario Galaxy movie with my friends soon, and I'm really excited to see it, even though the movie might have mixed reviews. I'm very proud that the movie topped the box office over the Easter weekend, and I'm hoping for the best for Nintendo and the Illumination. And also, don't listen to the critics, you could still enjoy the movie. Well, then again, you can listen to us.
Yeah, you can just listen to us. Don't listen to anyone else. Our opinions are right. I mean, you can I don't know. There's lots of stuff I like that other people don't like. So that's, I think just get used to that.
Oh, trust me, I have my fair share of that, and I've gotten into a lot of trouble for that as well.
oh yeah. Look, we're grown-ups into animation. There's not a lot of us. So everyone should have to deal with that as an adult, and then they'll feel better about things.
Exactly.